Greetings. This is your brother Elder Blacklight, aka Omar Kareem Nasser Muhammad Shabazz Allah. On a Wednesday. This is your brother like no other. The joint you heard is music you're not used to hearing, like different kind of music. I wrote it, composed it, performed on it, playing every position. See, I got my war bonnet on. Like to say, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom alaikum. What up, though? In my day, we used to say, what's happening, brother? So we usually stretch it out, but YouTube don't notify nobody anyway. I like to holler back at YouTube. Your policies are jacked up. I don't know if you know what that word means. See, they want you to use correct English because they don't understand a whole lot of street jargon, street vernacular. They don't know how to understand the rap from the hood. Brothers started hipping them to it, though. I remember Snoop Dogg. Remember that rap that Snoop Dogg used to have, Dizzle My Dizzle, and that was for his generation. And y'all probably got, some slang for your generation. Yahweh Elijah Muhammad, he didn't use slang because he wanted to make sure that the intellectuals understood what he was saying. And myself, English is a language that was forced on us. And by it being forced on us without proper education, proper linguistics, we were just saying words that we didn't know what they really meant. So, but back in the day, in my hood, we had little languages. Each clique, group, or gang had their own languages and own code. New Jack City, when it came out, they had their own vernacular. It was a drug culture by then, deep in the drug culture. They were selling crack, and it was a drug culture. Now the drug culture, back when I was coming up, didn't come into play until around the 60s. White people had it first, because they could afford it. And the musicians, black musicians, they they used it like heroin and cocaine. People in the high society, they used cocaine, and it was always a language or a slang to go with it because they didn't want the police to know what they was talking about. So they had various words like horse, stood for heroin, and uh, later on it came out girl and boy. The girl was the cocaine, and the boy was heroin. Weed was considered nothing. They used to sell weed over the counter in a drugstore. They used to put it in uh, cigarettes and call it asthma cigarettes. You know, they had other weed and stuff back, but the joint used to be big as my finger right there. It'd be about 10 in a pack, and you smoke it, and it calms down your breathing if you got asthma. I'm trying to get you familiar with the times that I came up in, because the '60s was the warrior generation. Yeah, we the one that started off uh, the street gangs. They had gangs back then. They had a gang called Shakers, the Shakers. No, they wasn't shaking their butts. They were shaking you down. Back in when I was coming up, the shakedown means they'll walk up on you, surround you, hit your pockets, see if you got any loose change in your pockets or any money, you know, and tell you to, give it up. And most people give it up. So they shake you down when you go to lunch in school. They shake you down when you go to the movies or to the flicks, as we used to call them. They shake you down. And when you go to parties, or they be standing on the corners by the wine store, waiting for you to go to the store for your mama or anybody. And they say, "What you got on this wine, man?" If you say you ain't got nothing, they're gonna shake you down. Make sure you ain't got nothing. Wild and crazy days in Detroit. Wild and crazy days in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But it was a different after the Public Enemy, and uh, they stopped playing so much as a Public Enemy, and hip hop wasn't playing X Clan and Rakim and all them, and they started playing that gangster rap. It started changing for y'all coming up now. The brothers that's and the sisters that's listening to me now, which it says there are none, but the show must go on. I can't wait for you to come on in. You'll catch it later anyway on the video. Now, YouTube used to dealing with deaf, dumb, and blind people. you know. So they start off, when they first started off, you know, you could say and do damn near what you want to do. Damn near what you want to say. As time went on, they start calling it hate speech. Now, that's when you know that the government done, you know, they didn't put their hat in the pot or in the ring. The government said we could take over all uh, all the media. They had it planned all along because right about then is where information like this start coming out. And they didn't want you to say anything about the Jews or the Israelis, you know. And the only one was saying something a little bit about them days was Farrakhan. So he changed up on a brother. Quick change artist, Farrakhan. And Farrakhan, he, you know, I mean, you'll see some of the videos. He'll still see those old videos of, and he's talking about the Jews. But what got the Jews mad at Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson is the Jaime Time remark. You see, that was Farrakhan's mistake. He wanted to get into politics. Yeah, with Jesse Jackson. That was a trap right there for Farrakhan. They knew that Farrakhan was weak because I know it's gonna be a whole lot of after I get through with this video, it's gonna be a whole lot of brothers and sisters gonna be hating me because I'm gonna touch on Malcolm. I'm gonna touch on uh, Khalid. I'm gonna touch on uh, King and Malcolm. They all made they all made mistakes, and Farrakhan. They all made m- crucial mistakes after hearing uh, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They strayed away from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. My last video, I referred to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as being the Lamb. I'm going to the Bible to Revelations 14, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his father's name written in their foreheads. That's Allah. If you got a name like mine, Umar Kareem Nasser Muhammad Shabazz Allah, that's your father. Allah is your father, the creator of all the worlds, the creator and the maker of the planet Earth, the original Asiatic black man, that first original is in your DNA. The first original man is in your DNA. The first creator is in the black man's DNA. How can you tell? Because melanin. You don't hear him talk about melanin no more. This is a video that I'm getting you prepared for what I'm about to say and do. And like I said before, a lot of y'all gonna hate me for what I'm about to say. Let me say it like this though. Whether or not you know it or not, black man and black woman, you're in a war. You've been in a war for practically 6,000 years. Your enemy is the Caucasian. Now, some of you are so scared, you're even afraid to hear me talk like the way I'm talking. And you're going to sign off. Some of you are so scared that the white man has beat you into submission and he made you love him and made you hate yourself. Now, I had this book a long time. It's a psychology book. And the author is Charles G. Morris. Psychology is a study of human behavior. Now, I'll show you how the white man is studying you. I'm going to show you something. See, can you see this? What it says there, now I can't show you the words. Let me see. It says right there, if you can see it. I doubt if you can see it though, but it's the study of human behavior through genetics. You see, they studying the black man, if his athletic qualities. The black man is amazing to the white man. Behavior genetics. Now, just like they study us, we got to study them and their behavior, how they been behavior, how they behave throughout the years, the history of behavior. That's part of war. The white man, he's sends spies to other countries to check out their behavior, to check out how they react or act. So y'all don't think deep as me. Most of y'all that is in the YouTube not as old as I am. So I came up through 7 generations or 7 decades, put it like that. Not 7 generations, but 7 decades. A decade is 10 years. I came up when it was bebop, doo-wop, hip-hop, R&B. So if we don't unite, we would go back into a slavery worse than a slavery that we were in. We still in it, but it's a mental slavery. But we'll be in a physical and mental slavery. And it'll take us 6,000 years. I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say it'll take us another 6,000 years before we will have an opportunity again to come out of slavery, that kind of slavery. Why am I doing this? Because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission uh, from Allah. And my word is my bond. I will give my life before my word shall fail. I'm an FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. My duty is to unite my people, black people, and to protect the woman and children of my nation. Let me stop right there. The name of that cut is Savior's Day. I'm not selling it. I call that kind of music, I named it myself. I categorize my own music. It's called soulphonic music. It's got a little classical music, a little rock in it, a little this and a little that. Mix it all up, and that's what you got. But back to what I was saying. We got to protect our women and our children. What makes me press that so much? I'm going to compare. I'm going to compare with Palestine, with the Gaza Strip and Hamas. I'm going to compare uh, the black man and black woman over here in the wilderness of North America with the Palestinians. Now, they started occupying uh, Palestine and around, I say in the 40s, late 40s, right after a couple of years after I was born. I was born in 1946. And the Israelites, that's what they really are, Israelite. That word Israel means against God. That's the original meaning of it. God meaning the black man and woman. The white man, in other words, you can break it down like this: the white man is against the black man and woman. The black man and woman is the original Asiatic black man and woman of the planet Earth. The owner, the maker, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. That's the black man and woman. And Yakub or Jacob made the white man. Now, it's a movie called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, starring Spencer Tracy, made back in the 40s. It's saying what I'm getting ready to tell you. And the black man is a brown germ, which is the weaker germ, the negative germ, and the black germ, which is the dominant germ. Or you can say gene. Gene and germ mean the same thing. You can look it up in the dictionary. I looked it up already. See, I define words. I got a book called The Dictionary of Word Origins. I go back to the origin of words. Etymology is what they call it. Because that's how he also weaponizes words, you know. And so I'm not going to go back into that, but I go in my previous video, I kind of broke some of it down for you. So he goes over in different lands with spies to study the behavior of the people. See, the Caucasian is a scientist. Now that word scientist also could be equal to the word God. You say, well, how's that? Well, do you know the real etymology of the word God? The word God, according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, means the possessor of power and force. Now, how do that apply to the white man being a scientist or a God? Did he invent the atom bomb? Don't you have atoms in you? We all got atoms in us. Molecules. We're made up of atoms and molecules, right? So an atom is a power. When you drop that bomb on you, It's for us. So you got to learn how to stretch out your mind and think critically. And that's one thing my mother and my father and my uncles impressed upon me, to think critically. Some of them wasn't in the Nation of Islam. I had only had one uncle in the Nation of Islam. The rest of them was thugs and gangsters and killers. But they thought critically about what they were doing, about their hustle, about their way of life. And they lasted a long time doing what they was doing, longer than some of them young thugs now. Both of my thug uncles uh, lived to be in their 60s and 70s and still was hustling. I had two grandfathers, one on my father's side and one on my mother's side, that were hustlers. The one on my father's side, on my father's side, he lived longer than the one on my mother's father. He lived, he didn't live that, to be an old man. They caught him loading dice. He was using loaded dice. They gutted him. He didn't die right away, but over a couple of years later, he died. So I got that street thing in me too, see. Then I went to Wayne County Community College and got this book here. I graduated from Wayne County Community College, but the classes I took up. Now let me give you a little history about Wayne County Community College. Wayne County Community College evolved from a black man's founder. His name was Shaw. And he opened up Shaw College. And Muhammad Ali, it was like a Muslim. This dude, he had the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Shaw. I don't know if he was in the FOI or not. I never heard if he was, but I know that Muhammad Ali endorsed Shaw College, co-signed for it, and Shaw College became Shaw College on Woodward. It was a little college, community college at first, all black teachers. Then it stayed on Woodward, but it moved down a little bit. And then it became Wayne County Community College, and the first spot it had was on 4th Street. And that's when, a little bit after that, I attended Wayne County Community College. And it was in the middle or late 80s. And they had grants back then, block grants. They used to pay you to go to school back then. Pay you to get your GED. They paid you to get your GED. And cats wasn't get their GED, they get the money, but they didn't care nothing about studying. But I got my GED in the 70s, before it was a long time before I went to Wayne County Community College. I had my GED. And then I went to Wayne County Community College and graduated liberal arts because I wanted to take up mass media. I was going to take mass media up at Wayne State University. But I didn't like the way, I couldn't handle Wayne State University because I didn't like the way they did things. I was always a rebel. I was always, I couldn't bow to the Caucasian. I couldn't bow to him. I never did bow to him. I used to whoop his ass. That's right. I used to whoop y'all ass, man. In Detroit, over there on Finkel, between Dexter, Linwood, Puritan, and Davis, the brothers over there was our code. I'm not going to get into that, but anyway, when I took up psychology, I found out that Sigmund Freud, it's in this book here, Sigmund Freud's history. He's a weird cat, man. Sigmund Freud is a weird guy. He would dream about his mother a whole lot. Plus, he was a 10-year cocaine addict. He got all of his doctor friends, his wife, hooked on cocaine. I bet y'all didn't know that. He was a German, but he was a Jew. Now, the term Jew, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says the Jew was the first white man that came out the caves. They didn't all come out the caves all at once. And when Moses civilized them, they were the ones that Moses civilized. Now you find that in the Old Testament. Now I got the Torah over here too. Like I say, y'all not gonna dig where I'm coming from. Y'all don't want to hear what I'm saying. Or either YouTube ain't notifying. But I'm gonna tell you, if you do happen to tune into this live, or if you tune in later to the video, you better try to some kind of way save this, because in a few days you're gonna say, "Dang, he was right on point." It's taking a long time for me to convince you, because you got to see it to believe it. That's how we are. You got to see it to believe it. And some of us, after we see it, we still don't believe it. Now, just like I'm giving you war strategies, the white man has been dominating the planet. He always had a strategy to dominate, to expand, and to control the population. And we were so naive to the Caucasians' traits, behavioral traits. We didn't know a person could be so diabolic. So now I'm comparing the black man with the Palestinians. I have to set it up for y'all. Why did they choose Palestine? Birth, what they say, what Jesus was born in Bethlehem, in Palestine, Gaza, all around there, birthplace of Jesus. Y'all say Jesus' birthday was on the 25th of December. So every year since I've been born, y'all been singing Christmas carols. Y'all been singing Silent Night. And somewhere along the line, Santa Claus popped up. You know. And eventually, Santa Claus took precedence over Jesus. But y'all say y'all Christians, right? Now, if any Christians, especially black Christians, I want you to pay careful attention to what I'm about to say. You're not a Christian. You adopted the way of the white man. That's a play on words. Really, it's saying Antichrist. You take the Christianity, flip it around, Antichrist. Antichrist means against God. Then you say Israel. That means against God. You say, no, that's crazy. All right. I'll prove it to you. Now, y'all all know the story of Jesus being born in a manger in a little manger in Bethlehem. King Herod, wanted to kill him. You know, he didn't know where he was at, but he wanted to kill him. Y'all say he was a Jew. King Herod was a Jew. Y'all say Jesus was a Jew. I could prove you wrong right there. What does the word Muslim mean? Well, when you look it up in a dictionary, the word Muslim means one that does the will of Allah. Well, you say Allah ain't, what's Allah? See, that's your language, black man and black woman. Aramaic. That's the language Jesus was talking. He was talking Aramaic and Hebrew. Now, Aramaic and Hebrew are kin to Arabic. They are sisters and brothers. They're very close. Just like if I say Assalamu alaikum, Hebrew, you say Shalom alaikum. Aramaic, you say Assalamu alaikum. which means peace be unto you. In Arabic, you say assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. That's how Jesus, in the Bible, Jesus was greeting, but they got it in English saying, peace be unto you. And then Jesus would always say, I do the will of my Father. That's what Muslim mean, doing the will of Allah, meaning the Creator. Y'all can look that up for yourself. Y'all don't need me to tell you. Go in the Bible and look it up. You can go in the dictionary, look up what the word Muslim means. So Jesus wasn't no Jew, he was a Muslim. Same with Moses. He was doing the will of God. When God sent him over there to civilize the caveman over in Europe, in the hills and caves of Europe, God sent Moses to civilize me. That's why you come up with the 10 Commandments. Right. So Islam been around a long time. But y'all want to say it came with uh, Mustafa 1,400 years ago. Y'all want to say it came with Muhammad. He's the founder of the Islamic or the Muslim religion. He never did say that. You read the Quran, he don't say that. The Quran was revealed to him. It always been around. It was revealed to him. The reason why it was revealed to him, because the Jews was tampering with the word of God. They altered the word of God. Christianity only 500 years old. So it wasn't, Jesus didn't invent Christianity. Now, Constantine, who was a Roman conqueror, a warrior, he the one that invented Christianity. We'll put it like this: he improved on it. He made it. He didn't invent it, but he took what he did was reinvented it to what it is now. Because the first Christians, it was a couple of hundred years before they came about. It was Paul or one of them that I can't think of who it was right now, but it was one of them so-called disciples and came about with the word Christian. But it came from the Romans and some converted Jews. And if you remember, they say they crucified Jesus. The Romans, Pontius Pilate, and the Jews. I could go in the Bible and show you where Jesus said, y'all trying to kill me. Y'all want to kill me. And they had spies. They made Judas an agent, a CIA agent, a spy. So he weasels his way, so the story goes. But see, all of this is really telling you what I'm saying about the Bible, especially in the New Testament. It's really talking about these times that we're living in. You see? And Jesus, I tell you, he said, I ain't the one. He found out that, oh man, I'm too early for this message I'm trying to get in. I ain't the one. Now Jesus did get killed. They did kill Jesus, but they just didn't crucify him. The soldiers, he let them kill him. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but he wasn't crucified. Because it says in the Bible that Jesus could read minds. He always knew what they was thinking. He told Judas that he was a traitor. And he told Peter that you're gonna turn against me. You're gonna act like you don't know me. And he did it. So Jesus was a master of disguise too. So he looked like Barabbas. That's the one that they crucified, was Barabbas. You know. Excuse me. They didn't crucify Jesus. But there in the Bible, they made it look like they did. So they inserted and altered the Bible's words. So they had to bring the Quran. But guess what? Eventually they altered the Quran. They changed up the word Quran. I think it's been about 25% tampered with. But the Bible been a whole lot tampered with. But Allah knew this was going to happen. So he codified and put a seal on it so that the ones who try to alter the Bible really couldn't alter it. Mathematics, the words are mathematically synchronized. And then you put a seal on it. And the seal is to be opened up in this day of judgment, the seventh day. And that one who opened up the seal was the Lamb. When I, read to you about the Lamb having 144,000 with the names of Allah. Because y'all gonna have, if y'all don't get with what I'm saying, y'all gonna still have the names of the devil and the mark of the beast and the devil's names on you. Even though you black, you refuse to listen to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You will get caught up you would get caught up into the web of the devil. So let's take a break. All right, brothers and sisters. I'm going to still do what I do because I'm an FOI soldier in the nation of Islam. I seldom wear bow ties. I seldom sling bean pies. But I'm an FOI soldier until the day I die. I will protect the women and children of my nation. I will perform my duty faithfully, regardless to whom or what. My life and my death are all for Allah. So I'm going slow with you so you can see where I'm coming from. You see, right here, that's the mothership. Then you got the flag of Islam. So we've been in a war between good and evil. It's manifesting itself in plain sight. So we're comparing Israel and Palestine with America, the black man, and the ghettos, and the Indians on reservation. See, now Allah is nothing done without the permission of Allah. Why is this happening? Why is this they fighting over there and bloodshed all over the place? Look how many thousands of lives were lost within a matter of weeks. Stick with me. I'm going to tell it to you like it really is. We've been in a war with Israel. Been in the 6,000-year war ever since Yaqub made and grafted the devil. We've been in a war. Yaqub been against God. He made a people what they call mankind. He's not a man. He's a kind of a man. He's not a human. A human, hue meaning color, man meaning mind. The black man is the mind. So we've been in this war, and we were captured. Travis Shabazz were captured in 1555, Muslims, but they were naive to the ways. That's how we got captured and made slaves. We were naive to the ways of the Caucasian. And then he sent a spy over to Africa, up around Egypt way, named John Hawkins. And he studied our ways for 20 years. Sometimes they call them scouts. They used to scout out land over here with the Indians. They call them scouts. You go and trade furs with the Indians and live among the Indians, learn their language, learn their ways, learn what to eat, what not to eat. End up a whole lot of time marrying or getting Indian women pregnant. Well, that's what he did too. He hung with us for 20 years over in Africa, Travis Shabazz. And in 1555, he had us hooked in on a ship called Jesus, Skull and Bone ship. That's where the skull and bones come from. And so once he got us over here, he had to break us in. He broke the woman in first. Because once he break her in, she'll break the children in. And he broke the man down. The black man he broke down, punctified him. But he made him strong. He breathed on him and made him strong so he could work. He was like an animal, a mule, pack mule, strong. So Allah sent his son over, his only begotten son, behind enemy lines in camouflage and disguise, looking like a white man, to sit up a beachhead in Detroit. So here come Master Farad Muhammad. There he is. Master Farad Muhammad. He came over here in 1930 on Hastings Street, Black Bottom. Black Bottom. Named Black Bottom because of the rich and fertile soil. The kind of soil you could plant seeds in and get a good crop. And he walked up and down Hastings Street. Now, I was born over there. I was born in Black Bottom. I wasn't born. I was born in a hospital but we was living on over that way. I think it was Wilkins and over on Wilkins and all around. I think we stayed about 3 or 4 places over there: Alexandrine, Kirby, uh, Hastings. We stayed, over there for a minute, and I remember parts of it. My uncle had a horse and wagon. They had horse troughs with, you feed the horse they had water where the horse could get water that you tie him up and feed him. He was pulling a wagon, a junk wagon. My uncle and them used to jump, and hustle in that wagon. And so I remember that. And they had a place where you could the horse could get water. Master Farad Muhammad walked among us. He was over here 20 years before he came up to Detroit, mingling with the white folks. He could spy on the white people. And before he came to Detroit, then when he came up to Detroit in 1930, he established, he was a salesman. He was selling tapestry, and my grandmama bought, at least that's what she told me, a big old tapestry, a rug, with pictures, and covered the whole wall, man. I've never seen, it was a rug really, but it had a picture of a marketplace, and people were they were selling fruits and vegetables in the picture. Because I asked, I said, Grandma, where you get that from? She said, Master Farad Muhammad. My grandmama was a Muslim. My mother was a Muslim. And my uncle was a Muslim. Back in the 40s. My mother knew Malcolm. She knew Supreme Minister John Muhammad. And she ate dinner with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But I didn't know what was happening back then. I was a baby. So anyway, Master Farad started giving meetings in the basement, in living rooms and whatever. Way before a couple of years before he met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it was traitors, spies in it then, hypocrites in it then, before he even met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. My uncle told me that story. I reveal it to you in another time, another place. So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came in, got in it, and I think a year later, something like that, he recognized Master Farad Muhammad as being Allah, being recognized Master Farad Muhammad in the person of Allah, or Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Vice versa, either way, meaning the same thing. And Allah, Master Farad Muhammad said, look, only you know this, but don't tell it to nobody else till it's time. He took the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and taught him day and night and day, the secrets of the universe, how to break the seal on the Bible, and how to raise his people up from a dead position. So YouTube is ran by the enemy, but we would have had our own by now. We would have had our own YouTube. We would have had our own Comcast, our own communications by now, if we would have listened to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But the enemy was clever. The enemy was very, very clever, because he was studying. He sent in spies to study us. Now let's go back to Palestine. Now the United States, they helped the Jews, or the Zionists, Jews, because they print up the money. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, they the head of the Federal Reserve. They print up the money. They own all the banks, all the money exchanging. They own the diamond mines. They own the gold mines over in Africa. So not only did they fool us, they fooled those Africans over there. They didn't know what they had. Not only did they fool those Africans over in Africa, they fooled the Indians over here. So y'all brothers say, well, we Indians. Yeah, they're part of the they're Indians, black as us, blacker than us. They're part of our family. I'm talking about those Eastern Indians. The ones you see with the dots and Hindus, they us. They're part of the original family. The black, brown, red, and yellow are the part of the original family. But the Indian, we sent him over here because he didn't want to follow the ways of Islam. He broke the laws of Islam. But the white man did him the same way that they doing the Palestinians. You don't hardly see no Indians no more. They hardly too many reservations left, and the rest of them, they done got so white, they can blend in with the white man, and you'll never know. Just like the Palestinians. You can't tell it. You can't tell them apart from the Israelites, from the Jew. Some of them is a little darker. The real dark ones, they don't show them. You know. So that's how Master Farad started off the Nation of Islam. So Elijah Muhammad built up the Nation of Islam in Detroit, but they tried to kill him. He had to break out of Detroit, but on, on he was a fugitive almost. So on his way of on his way of running up and down the coast of California, all over there, he was teaching them, and they was building mosques, building temples. Then they arrested him, and he was building temples in the jailhouse. You know, because he was ordained to do what he was doing. But he was laying out a blueprint, a war strategy. He built up an army called the FOI. Everybody, you know, they said, well, he copied off of Garvey. Well, you know, Garvey, y'all don't know, maybe y'all ain't heard about this, but Garvey spent some time over in Africa. And he had he studied up under Deuce Ali, I guess. I can't never pronounce that right. They had a paper over there. Did y'all know that? But when I think he was up in Ethiopia way too, talking about Marcus Garvey. So he came back to the States to set up the UNIA. But he called himself a Negro and said he was a Christian. He wasn't dropping the same kind of science and the same kind of knowledge that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was. Then they say, well, what about Noble Jew Ali? Noble Jew Ali was over in Europe, in England, for a minute. And got this is what I was told. I wasn't there, so I don't really know. He got the name Noble from. And then he came over here and started dropping a little science, Islamic science, but not to the depths of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They were forerunners to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and both of them guys had the heart of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said they were both cool brothers. They was good brothers. But only the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was to meet with Master Farad Muhammad. All this was uh, in the Bible. All this is in the Bible. I read it to you once. I'm gonna read it to you again. They stopped referring to Yahweh Elijah Muhammad as the Lamb. In Revelations 14, it said, I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having the Father's name written in their forehead. This is in Revelations. They're talking about Yahweh Elijah Muhammad and how we are gathering an army together. So it's just like the Crusades, you know, the devil against Allah. That's all this is. This war jumping off. Getting back to the Palestinians. They was over there. Their land was occupied for 46 years or something like that. 45 years. 46 years. That's the same, around the same amount of time that Wallace broke down the Nation of Islam. He broke it down. It's still a Nation of Islam, but it's broke down. It ain't working the way it should work. And no one tries to fix it and make it better than it knew or better than what it was. Getting back to the Palestinians, they had 46 years, 40-some years to prepare and build himself up against the Israelites. They didn't do it. They got disarmed. They let them disarm them. They killed Arafat. They say they killed him. I don't know, but that's what they say. They haven't proved it to be a matter of fact yet. After that, you know, that's when Hamas come in. And the United States and Israel set up Hamas. Now they said Hamas that was a strategy. But come on, y'all. You're gonna go over and capture some hostage. You're gonna go and get some hostages, take them back to your tunnels, and that gave them, the Israelites, the excuse to blow up all the whole Gaza Strip is being demolished, evaporated. See, I know. See, I was born right at the end of the World War, but they were showing a whole lot of war pictures. And then, you know, we had gangs in the street. And we did war strategies, especially against the white dudes. Because where I moved to back in the 50s, I moved to Ruderman back in 1956. There wasn't nothing but a few blacks over there. My father was working at the factory. My mama was working. I was the only child. And so, we were in a different class. But that Jews was over there. Jews they had synagogues over there, and they had Catholic schools over there. There was a Catholic school right on the corner of Dexter and Finkel. And they had one St. Gregory on Linwood and Finkel. It was like a orphan home for rich white kids. And then on Dexter they had a whole bunch of Jewish joints. So Jews went to Mumford. There wasn't nothing but Jews going. Catholics went to Cooley. They had motorcycle gangs, white motorcycle gangs, and they had white hot rod gangs. And they was trying to and their fathers was police officers. And they tried to terrorize us. The little brothers was over there. But we was like the 300. That's what led up to the riots. I'm going to call them the riot. I call them what I want to call them. It don't have to mean, what the white man said mean. Yeah, we were rioting and rebelling. We were doing all that. We were doing all of it. Don't matter just because he said it mean that don't. I don't accept what he say. It's time we start acting like we invented words. And we gave him his language because he was up in them caves grunting. He didn't know how to talk. And we taught him how to talk. We taught him how to use fire, cook his food and everything. So just because he said, man, that don't have to be so, man. You better start getting your manhood back. Y'all be punking out too much for me, man. Look how many homosexuals we got now compared to when I was coming up. You very seldom seen them. If they was homosexual, they was hiding it. They was in the closet and they wasn't gonna come out because they get their ass whooped. Unless they done been to jail and learn how to fight in jail and but they were still homos though. They were just rugged homos. You got a whole lot of rugged homos, But they didn't reveal themselves like they wasn't all out in the street wearing beards, disguising themselves. They're not even disguising themselves. You see a faggot dude, a homosexual acting feminine with a beard. It don't matter. No. They all out. But they didn't get that behavior automatically. That comes from the Caucasian when he was up in them caves. He was even freaking with dogs. They was even freaking with dogs, had babies by dogs, freaking with each other. Just nasty, man. A whole lot of freaky sexual acts we wouldn't do, like having oral sex. Brothers wouldn't do that. They wouldn't go down to the Y. They wouldn't be up all in the bushes. bushwhacking, eating furry burgers. No, man, we didn't do that. Till they start showing them porno movies. Porno movies. First, they was just like on an 8mm, and then they start putting them in magazines like Playboy, and Hustler, different freaky magazines they had. Then they would have a whole bookstore of porno books, and you could go in there and masturbate. And the homosexuals, all of them would meet up in the porno bookstore. Brothers wasn't doing that. Now you could talk to some of them old prostitutes back in the day. They'll tell you how freaky them white cats was. They say the white dude will go downtown with a briefcase with a suit and tie on. Then he'll cruise. We had a street called John R. Where the hoes be up and down John R. They used to call it. If you had a prostitute that was very popular with the white guys, they call her the Star John R. They was all over at the State Fair on Woodward, 8 Mile. The prostitutes was, and the rich white guys that lived over there in Groves Point. Then they was over on 12th Street, Rosa Park, where they had the so-called riots at. And the merchants, the Jew shop owner for bar mitzvahs, they would have their sons to shop one of them black holes up there on 12. And same with Linwood. And the black holes got so they wouldn't they didn't even have to turn a trick with them. What they would do, they call it the Murphy. They'll get the little white Jew boy up there, get him all excited, get him high, then take his wallet. The pimp will come in there, while she I got him occupied, and take the wallet. So the Jew, he had clothing stores. We used to go and get our clothes all up and down 12. He had a whole bunch of clothing stores. He had bars and whatever, and he was dealing in corruption, the Jew. And just on the west side, see 12th run into Finkel. And Finkel turned into 5 Mile. And then after 5 Mile, you got Puritan, then you got 6 Mile, then you got 7 Mile, then you got 8 Mile. What's that white boy that y'all like? Eminem? Yeah. Hope, and that's where the State Fair was at, on 8 Mile and Woodward. And that's where the hoes was at. White hoes, black hoes. The porno bookshop was about 2 blocks away, 2 or 3. Well, no, it was maybe about 6 blocks away. Around Palmer Park. Palmer Woods, with rich white people, Sherwood Forest. This all the way. This is what's happening in Detroit, man. Temple #1. Master Farad came to clean all that up. But y'all didn't want to hear that. Y'all didn't want to hear that. Y'all didn't want to clean yourself up. So as a result today, you got all these freaky politicians. Probably got a whole bunch of homos. Remember they say gay F. Edgar Hoover, you know, he was getting blackmailed by the mafia. Then he picked up the mafia's little trick and started doing it. You know, them the ones that got King knocked off. You know, because King had the ability to galvanize the people. They had a hard time getting to Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't think they didn't try. So they couldn't get to him, but they got to his son Wallace. They got to Malcolm, and you got to Farrakhan. I'm sorry to say it, they got to him. Evidence points in that direction. Didn't know too many people had a heart that John Elijah Muhammad had. John Elijah Muhammad had Master Farad backing him up though. And quiet as it kept, that's our secret weapon. That's our weapon of mass destruction. Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. So you don't know who's causing this frostbitten weather. Is it Master Farad Muhammad? That's our weapon. He's gradually bringing down America because he's trying to give us a chance to organize our righteous unity. So you in the army of Allah, whether or not you want to be or not. Now, either you're gonna be a castaway and get with the white man, or you're gonna be a soldier and get with Allah. So now you see by the Palestinians, getting back to them, you see that they went to sleep on their enemy. They let the enemy gradually surround them and take over inch by inch their territory, just like they did the Indians. Now see, the black man is a little different because he was captured and brought over here and put on plantations, and they took our mind away from us. Didn't educate us. We was like little sheep. We still like little sheep. So everybody say the white man scared us. No, the white man wasn't scared. He ain't scared of us now. You know, he know what he doing. He beat you up anytime he get ready to, or kill you anytime he get ready to. He just every now and then he got to keep you in your place. See, y'all wasn't like us in Detroit. We ran his ass out of Detroit for 20 years. Then we got a revolutionary mayor called Mayor Youngs, but we were still deaf, dumb, and blind. We couldn't act on it. We didn't mess around and got a boule named Dennis Archer. That means gatekeeper for the white man. And all the revolutionary dudes got bought off. So y'all think because a cat talk all rough and everything, y'all just admire talk, man. Y'all don't admire action. See, down when Elijah Muhammad, not only did he walk the walk, not only did he talk the talk, he walked the walk. He had $170+ million empire when he died. So y'all just talk big, like Malcolm was talking. But what did Malcolm do? He punked out, went to the white man, told the white man all the moves that the Muslim was making. He didn't have to go to the white man and tell him all that. He could have kept it to himself. Think about it. He could have kept it to himself. See, that's what happened when you rub shoulders with the white man. When you bump elbows with the white man. And he get all friendly with you. Then the next thing is a bullet to the head. And Freddie's dead. That's what I said. So they built Malcolm up after they killed him. And made you think that Elijah killed him. But Malcolm wasn't doing nothing but bumping his gums, man. Now we're going to give y'all some strategy. See, the Palestinians, they didn't have nothing to defend themselves with. They didn't have nowhere to. They were surrounded. They ain't got no way to get food in, medication in. You know. And them brothers, them Muslim countries over there, they all separated from each other. You got the Sunni Muslim, the Shiite Muslim, and some more kind of Muslims. They separated. That's why they fighting each other. Then you got over here, you got the Christians. They all separated. You got the Baptists. I'm talking about the black Christians. You got the Baptists, Seventh-day Adventists. You got what else? You got Lutheran. You got the Catholics. You got all types of different Christians.
So they ain't thinking about joining uh, forces, you know. And in Palestine, you had they were all together. You had the Christians living side by side and talking and mingling with the Jews. You had the Jews side by side talking and mingling with the Muslims, and they all referred to God as Allah. The Christians referred to him as Allah. The Jews referred to him as Allah, and the Muslims referred to him as Allah. But the Quran say to the Muslims, don't divide yourself up into sects, and don't mingle or don't uh, accept the Jews and the Christians as friends. So all y'all looking like over there, you know. So they bombing up, they killing up everybody. The Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, they don't care. Now, we're gonna get to the strategy in just a minute. Uh Over here, they got all these they got the border open. The refuge, they got what they call them migrants. They're going to the big cities. Don't nothing happen without the permission of Allah. So they got New York, they somewhere over in Texas. I don't know where they at, but they over there, Texas. I'm talking about the migrants. And then they in Chicago. They might be in some more big cities. They're coming in by the millions. And then it was said on one of the news channels that 1 million or 2 million Chinese men are on buses. Just the men, no families or nothing. So that's a different kind of migrant right there. Then they saying that Biden sold documents to the Chinese, doing business with the Chinese. Now they got the white man fighting up against the white man. And all of them got something on each other. They all of them got uh, something on each other, because Trump was hanging out with Epstein, Clinton, all them. They got some freaky stuff on each other. And the preachers letting these cats letting the devil come in his church and speak in his church. John Elijah Muhammad wouldn't let them come in. He let them come in on Savior's Day, but not on temple meetings. The temple is for schooling. The mosque is for praying. John Elijah Muhammad said, we could pray later. It's not time to pray right now. So Malcolm, first thing he wanted to do is shoot up, have a war with with the Klan or with the white man, when they start coming in on the Muslims, killing up some of the FOI, where do you get that? You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we not to carry weapons. First thing Malcolm did was display his weapon. They took a picture of Malcolm with his weapon. My father, he told me this. See, don't never front off what you got, man. Like them cats be raising up their shirt, and they got a gat in their belt. My father said, man, he done seen guys walk up to guys with the gun pointed on them, take the gun from the guy. He done seen guys raise up their shirt, and the guy would be so close to him, he just reach in there and grab. While he holding his shirt up, while he holding up his shirt, he just grab his gun out his belt, belt, and shoot him. You know, he done seen guys get sliced up with razors because you can't see a razor. He done seen guys get stuck because you can't see that. He done seen guys get blackjack to death, brass knuckle to death. My father told me you could get a roll, you know them quarter rolls that you put in the quarter roll, put it in your fist and knock a nigga out. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say Negro. Yeah, well that's what they are, niggers. Knock them out. My father taught me how to fight. Not only that, my mama did too. They taught me how to be self-sufficient. That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught her. When times got rough, my mama used to make clothes. And they be bad too, like gabardine, stitch collars, stitch gabardine pants with the stitches around the pockets, with your initials on it. My old man went to tailor school. My grandmama knew how to can food, preserve food. So she could store food away for a long time. My father used to go and get what they call mineral. I mean, my uncle used to go and get mineral water from the springs way back in the 50s, man. Man, we used to have bean soup all the time. Bean soup with a wheat bread and cheese. They used to put a cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar. That's some good eating, man. Bean pies, carrot cakes. We used to get down, man. I miss those days. And my mother had a pantry. All she had was stored up canned food. And these cats nowadays, they want to show what they got. They want everybody to know. See, that's what messed Khalid up. Khalid wasn't teaching. He left the teachings too. You see, he became a Black Panther. Elijah Muhammad said, we don't name ourselves after no animal. And how did Khalid get in on Farrakhan with a gun in the book? That let you know that Farrakhan's FOI wasn't nothing. They let him get in and stand behind Minister Farrakhan with a Bible with a gun in it in the middle. And there's Farrakhan didn't even know he had it. That's some suspicious stuff right there. And then when he was in the Panthers, he gonna load up guns and take them around. You letting the enemy count. You letting the enemy count your weapons. Unless you got a warehouse full of ammunition, a warehouse full of guns, how you gonna hold him off? And he make the weapons. How you gonna hold him off and he make the weapons? And every New Year come, you shooting up in the sky. Not only is that dangerous, but you letting the enemy know who got the guns. They got machines, they got a technology now that they can tell where the gunfire is coming from, what area. So they just about know who got guns. Not only that, you got to know and control your resources. Where they at? You got to know when you move in a house. You should have that house surveyed. You should have the ground surveyed to see what you got. We using strategy, y'all. Strategy for the black man and woman. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all don't want to understand what I'm saying. This gonna be in parts anyway. We just going through the surface. I got to get you in a mental frame of mind, or you're gonna end up like the Palestinians. Now, evidently, the United States think they can take Iraq. They must have had some spies over there. I know Minister Farrakhan used to go over there all the time. I remember Minister Farrakhan used to hang around with Gaddafi. They could freeze your account anytime they get ready. They froze Gaddafi's account. They froze uh, Saddam Hussein's account. You know why? Because the Rothschilds run the banks. They run Israel. They make the money. They sitting on top of all the gold. We're gonna get into stocks and bonds a little later on. But I'm gonna mention something about the Bitcoins. Bitcoins is a trick. Can't nobody coin money but the Congress. Bitcoin is against the Constitution. But let me tell you something about the Constitution. It's no longer in effect. You have no constitution, y'all. Y'all walk around thinking y'all got a constitution. When y'all start giving over the word government, y'all supposed to, the citizens supposed to be the government. That's what they told you in the Constitution. But y'all don't call yourself the government. Y'all call Biden and all them the government. That's the wrong word. And democracy is another wrong word that y'all use. You putting them in authority over you. So yeah, they revealing what they doing to you because they know you ain't gonna. They letting you know what they getting ready to do. They're getting ready to put that chip in you. They're getting ready to put that disease over here on you, put you on lockdown, make it mandatory for you to get that shot. They telling you all this. They telling you what they're gonna do to you. They telegraphing they punches. What are you doing? Acting immature. You're supposed to be mature. You the father and mother of civilization. And they abusing, they call it senior abuse, they're abusing their mother and father. So you know they're not gonna live long. That's natural. But if you let them do it, you're not gonna live long either. So we got a lot more on the way, and we getting strategy. Now, I don't charge you, you know, I don't ask for no donations. I don't ask for nothing. We're gonna start this movement on YouTube called War. Well, now we ain't gonna call it war. We're gonna call it Righteous Black Unity. That's a weapon too. There are two weapons in that statement. Righteous unity. Well, it's really three. It's righteousness, black man, and unity. The three amigos. So quit displaying your weapons. Control. You got to control your water resource, your electricity. You got to start building your hospitals. It's enough black guys, black doctors that's down for their people. Black nurses that's down for their people. Black teachers that's down for their people. Black engineers that's down for their people. It's enough for them. But we not networking with each other. So I got a 500 plus subscribers, and every time I look at my channel, I only got 20 views. Either they're being blocked or they're being or they don't show it until they get ready to show it. And you don't know that they don't that notification bell, they don't let you know. So I want you to email me. I'm gonna leave a number on the next on my next presentation, because they're not going. I don't think they got the comment section open either. So I'm gonna leave a number. See, I'm talking. Who have you heard talk like me, giving you strategies? See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I got it all from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They always try to find out how many FOI there was or how many people was in his temple. He said, I don't know. You know. He said, I got sympathizers, I got so he would never give him an exact number. And he would never tell him that he had weapons. He said, we don't carry weapons, not even a pen knife. There's no weapons in our home. Now, he was telling the truth. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. In Detroit, there was a revolutionary group. Ed Vaughn, him and my uncle used to hang around together a whole lot. And they used to meet up in this church. And somebody dropped a dime on them. And the police raided the church. And found a whole bunch of weapons. So they didn't have the weapons in their home, and they didn't carry weapons. But they had it to a place where they could get to them. I'm gonna tell you something else. We used to make our own weapons. We used to get car antennas. Back in those days, car antennas they were hollow. You could put a 22 in one of them. And we used to make zip guns. You can make them all kind of ways. Zip guns any kind of way you want to. Because we had metal shop, and we had wood shop. Do y'all have wood shop now? Metal shop. And drafting. We had drafting. We had wood shop, metal shop. Do y'all have that? Y'all barely got music. But you don't never let the man know what you got. The man say he open carry. First thing you want to do is open carry. In the Constitution, which they don't go by no more, it said you can bear arms. And you can have a armed militia. To watch over your hood, you know? Not to kill each other up with, but to watch over your hood. Now they got all these people coming in from other countries coming in on you. You don't know if they friend or foe. Half your the young cats in jail or on crack or alcoholics on fentanyl or something. And you don't know what they putting in the weed. They could be putting anything in there. They're giving it away half free. So you don't know what they putting it in. So the women ain't got nobody to protect them. That's why they doing everything they self now. I mean, I be teaching my daughters how to fight. I be teaching them not to depend on no guy. I try to show them how to change tires, but they got so they didn't have to change tires. They had somebody change tire for them, you know. But I want them to change them, you know, because these cats, man, I know how they is nowadays. They finicky, you know. These cats nowadays. So the women got to do it themselves. See, that's what that picture was about. Jamie Foxx, what was the name of the picture? Django. He was going to get his woman from the slave master. And Farrakhan's talking about he didn't like that because he was advocating guns. Man, forget that, man. He was going to get his woman back. And I was watching a YouTube video about this white man. I think they was in McDonald's, and the cashier was waiting on this white guy, and he was complaining. And he started trying to fight the sister, a young sister. And it was two brothers in there. Did they grab the white guy? No, they grabbed the sister. Now, recently you had some guys fighting on the docks. You know, that's cool. But now, the brothers nowadays, the reason why you ain't got your woman, brother, because you ain't showing no signs of manhood. You're weak. You know. Chicago shouldn't be in no turmoil with the Temple number 2. No, Mosque number 2, Mosque Maryam over there. If Elijah Muhammad would have been living, he would have owned Chicago by now. So I'm talking to you like this. Some of y'all gonna hate me because I'm talking about Farrakhan. Gonna hate me because I'm talking about Khalid. You know, Khalid shouldn't have been displaying weapons. He should have used some tact. And he shouldn't have been telling Phil Donahue, kill up the children, the women. That's what they're doing over in Palestine right now. Killing up the children, you know. You got to use some tact. You didn't hear Elijah talking like that, man. Elijah told the truth. He told what was going to jump off. That's why the white man, you know, they couldn't do nothing with him. They had to wait, you know, till he got old. But by then, he had set the blueprint out for us. He had laid the blueprint out for us to follow. But we not following it. Just like you got the black farmers. It's enough of black farmers to come into one city. They ain't got to go to all the city. Let's come to one city and open up a supermarket. Then they could farm and then ship their produce to the supermarket in the inner cities. But now you got Arabs. They over here and they ain't true Arabs. I mean true Muslims. You know. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it loose. And we're gonna pick it up next time. And may you have a peaceful night's rest and an early morning rise. I'm Black Light. Assalamu alaikum.